Uncensored, this is the place where you get actionable ideas, insight, and inspiration to turn your real estate career into a life of freedom. Unfortunately, our special guest is not able to make it. The internet gods said no. They smacked our little toddler hands and they said no. You cannot have your guest for today. So instead of talking about positive persuasion and overcoming fear, at least with our special guest, who was going to be Dr. Deborah Dupree, we'll get her back on the show in February. But we're going to take some questions and we're going to talk about lead generation, answer some things from the lead gen scription objections group. We're going to take live questions from you guys right here on Facebook. And so we're going to have a great show regardless. This is going to be an awesome, awesome time. So with that all being said, thank you guys so much and welcome the Junior Grandmaster himself. Let the suspense build. Greg McDaniel.
And drop it. What's up, man? How are you? It's going to be a good show. I was looking forward to having the good doctor on the show with us, but we will get her on, like you said, again another time. But it was really kind of cool. Matt was going through. He's going through a course from Joel, who's one of the guys that came on our show, which I regretfully, God, I can't talk like you can't talk, did not sign up for. And Matt actually had to ask me 5 questions, and I had to be brutally honest. And I got to tell you, there were some good answers that came out. And maybe Matt might turn his life around now. Get off all that chocolate. Those little obese babies. I got to tell you, those little wood denting bastards, those things are just dangerous.
All right.
No, but I
would never get off of chocolate. I have just escalated from a pack of M&Ms a day to I've gotten off of milk chocolate onto dark chocolate, and then I gotta just make sure I can't I cannot drop below 75% cacao. You understand what I'm saying? Like it has to be like bitter dark chocolate, because otherwise I will just plow through like half a chocolate bar after every meal or something. It's bad.
Ugh, sounds horrible. Ugh, I hate chocolate. If I'm gonna take in empty calories in, Matt, there's gonna be a buzz involved. Okay, there's just no reason. No reason to take on.
I get a nice buzz from chocolate. It's fantastic. It's way better than a beer buzz.
Bullshit. That can never be true. But I want to brag about the not so sour. Midori, say hi. So this young girl right here, man, she got her ass handed to her all day yesterday doing calls. I mean, it was brutal. I mean, it was ugly. It's like a street brawl on cold calls. But she went through 260, right?
Something like 264.
264 phone calls, just ass whipping. Last person, 2 solid leads that are legit. And really? We're running our numbers right now in regards to, podcasting, cold calls, time spent, number of calls, total talk time, total time on air versus how many appointments, what kind of appointments are being set. And we're calibrating it. And if Midori has it up, I'll read it off to you guys. But it is impressive. I mean, it's really, really awesome. And so it's a way to track your numbers. I'm working with one of our viewers on how to we're going to be getting that tracking sheet that I've been talking about forever. We're going to rework it and make it, agent proof. We can't break it because the one I have is you can break it really easily. So I haven't sent it to anybody. So hopefully we'll get that out to you guys here, and you guys can have access to it, start tracking it and start looking at what your numbers are. But here, Matt, just quickly, my numbers right now, if I keep doing what I'm going to do for this coming year, potentially about a $500,000 income off of prospecting 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, average price point $900,000 with a 2.5% commission. I should bring in about $500,000, and it's that is a carrot, man. That is a carrot sitting out there. So we want to give you guys that carrot. So you guys
prospecting an hour a day, 250 calls.
No. That's no. I'm way worse than Midori's numbers. Are you kidding me?
What do you mean?
Dude, okay, my attempts, these are for the last 5 days, 116, 98, 128, 95, 77. And then I got to enter my numbers for today, but I mean, way less than 2.
You're saying it's now. Are you in the seat for an hour, and that's like just your are you actually talking to people, and so your total attempts is going down because you're actually having conversations, or is it just lack of time in the seat?
Dude, 52 minutes, 38 minutes, 51 minutes, 47 minutes, 37 minutes. So no, dude, I'm not doing an hour. So we're tracking her numbers as well. So we'll see what her numbers are going to look like at a later show. We'll bring them up and we'll compare and contrast the two of them about doing 250 and then doing slapdick, like me, and the difference in the potential earnings and income. So very, very cool stuff. But Matt, you and I have been talking way too much. I do believe we actually should bring value at this point.
Well, that is value. I mean, I think people are curious about your numbers, and they're curious why you're slacking off, you lazy sack of shit. Let's talk. All right, there's a good question though. So let's take this one from the lead gen scripts and objections page, guys. If you're not members, go over to facebook.com/groups/gotobjections. The group is just growing like a weed. It's over 32,000. A really good group of people. So Judson Van Osborne says, we talk a lot about expireds and FSBOs, and he's right about that. But what are the toughest objections you get from just everyday sellers, everyday buyers, maybe even when you're asking for referrals? So, and that's what really caught my ear, which is that last part of the question, which is what are some of the toughest objections that you get when you ask for referrals? And we were kind of riffing on this before we went live. And Greg, I want to move that conversation over to where people can actually hear it. So what is the hardest objection to overcome when you ask for a referral?
So the hardest objection that I've found is the fact they just don't know anyone, because they're like a deer in headlights. They don't expect it coming. They haven't been mulling it over and thinking about it and kind of have their antennas up for another buyer and seller, because that's not something that they're thinking about, right? And so they immediately say nobody, right? And because it's the same scenario that happens when you walk into a department store, if they're even going to be around in 2 years, the way they're closing like wildfire. And the salesperson goes, hey, what are you looking for? How can I help you? You're like, nothing, just looking. Same way that they're doing. Their defenses go up because they don't want to look stupid. They're like, I don't have anybody, because they don't want to give you something that won't work out, or they just legitimately don't have anyone. So what I do when I counter that is I say, well, you know what, Matt, I totally understand. I've been getting a lot of those today. Got a quick question for you. If you were to wake up at 2:00 in the morning, and you had to move, or you wanted to move for whatever reason, who is an agent that you would call and refer you would go work with? 96-97% of the time they say nobody. That some people have family, some people have an agent, they go by name or whatever else. And I congratulate them, and then I ask them, the people that actually are going to be doing something, I could possibly be working with. I say, I know you don't buy and sell every day, but next time you do, would you mind remembering me? My name's Greg McDaniel. My phone number is right there on the number. I'd be happy to give you my email address if you'd like to email me, instead of call me. And I get a lot of people that will say yes. I get some grumpy dickheads that say no, but whatever. I didn't want to work with them anyways. And that's how I counter it. I go after a very soft close. And a lot of people think, well, why aren't you going for the hard close? Well, because, Marissa, a year and change ago, was a cold call that I did. I obviously don't remember it. She wrote my information down, and she called me about her investment property in Concord. Now she's $30,000 underneath value, and she needs to at least break even. So we're not going to sell yet. But we created a nice bond. She was thankful that I went and contacted the city and talked about doing a condoizing it, splitting the units out, and then getting back to her very quickly and running numbers for her and everything else. And so now she's on a monthly drip. And that was all from a cold call and asking for someone to remember me next time that they did it, or next time they were going to buy or sell. So it's very powerful, man. I think that you can't force someone to remember someone right off the bat that's going to be someone that's going to be buying or selling. There's just really not a lot of them out there right now. But if you can be kind to them and kind of put a little thought-provoking question up there, like would you mind remembering me? That comes from Simon Sinek. If you guys haven't heard of him, go take a look at all the stuff Simon does. It will blow your mind on the way he looks at business and life and everything else. Definitely one of my business idols.
Yeah, and that phrasing works really well for you because you're very genuine. I mean, just in real life and in the way that you say that. So that comes across. The only thing that I would add to that in terms of how you deal with that objection is maybe to make it a little bit easier on them, so that they don't give you the deer in the headlights response, and this is something I need to get better at myself, but giving them some affinity groups to think about. So one of the best scripts I've heard for asking for referrals is, obviously you set them up, number one, when they become a client or whatever the case is. If they're in your database, hopefully you've set them up for this question beforehand by letting them know that you primarily work by referral, that you enjoy working with referrals a lot better, and that you'll be asking from time to time, so that way when you bring it up, they don't give the deer in the headlights. But then just saying, hey, I know you go to church on a regular basis, and people chat or people talk about, when they're thinking about doing something, have you noticed anybody at church thinking about making a move? and just give them something, give them like a place to go in their mind, so they're not just staring at that proverbial blank sheet of paper.
Yeah.
And some people will take it as far as, what about, what about church, or what about your kid's school? Like, the parents that your kids go to school with their kids, and they'll give like 2 or 3 examples of places to think. I think that can potentially overwhelm people too. So you kind of have to feel that out. I would just pick, like, one time you ask for referrals, give them something. The next time you talk to them, give them a different thing based on what you know about their life, which also kind of builds that bond.
So lead them, essentially. Lead them, which is something you're very, very good at. Lead them mentally down the path of looking where they need to go. But a verbiage shift that you can put in there, it's very subtle, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of asking, who do you know that's going to be buying or selling, just ask them, who do you know that I should know? And stop there.
Yeah.
Because then they'll be like, well, what do you mean? You'd be like, well, I'm always trying to build my contractors and handymen and painters and attorneys and everything else, my good third-party vendors. But also, gosh, anybody's thinking about taking advantage of the prices, or thinking about selling or buying or renting or investing or anything real estate based. Who do you know that I should know? Mm-hmm. You shift that conversation like that. And now it opens up, again, like mentally leading them, like you were talking about. It's leading them to a whole new horizon, because they're just thinking right off the bat, like real estate, this area. But now it's like, oh, wait, my new sister-in-law, she's an attorney, and she works for this firm. I should hook them up. You're like, oh, cool. All right, let's go have lunch with your new sister-in-law and see what we can do to help each other's businesses grow.
Yeah, and that goes back to kind of understanding who your ideal client is, because then you can tell somebody, hey, look, I work with a lot of couples that have young kids. They want to get into a specific school district, and I love helping them. So anybody that's out there that also likes working with that type of client, whether it's someone that cuts their grass or somebody that helps them start a business and get their LLC set up, or whatever the case is, like anyone that works with that same type of client, I want to know who they are, and if they're good, I would love to refer them business.
Oh, absolutely.
Put it like that.
I would completely do that. I think, I love that. Wesley Brooks, he wants to talk about Facebook marketing and kind of the power of it. And also he wants to ask one thing, that he's getting a lot of Facebook leads that won't call him back, but they will text him back. So very, very interesting. And wants us to go into a little bit, maybe, Wesley, I'm assuming you want some techniques, tips, maybe some ideas of how to do text. I'm thinking, if you're texting them, is that Facebook Messenger, or is that an actual physical text? Because there are some differences there. I mean, obviously you guys all know that Facebook Messenger is you can do 15-second video, 1-minute audio, or written text and attachments and everything else. Mm-hmm. You can do something like that. Like I like to do the 15-second little videos and go that direction, because it's just my medium of communication. But that's really interesting, Wesley, that's kind of what they're doing. I don't do a lot of Facebook ads. I mean, we promoted a video of Midori getting her first listing, and that got about a little over 5,000 views. So I don't know. Matt, what are your thoughts on that?
In terms of what works on Facebook. So here's the deal.
Responses.
So the chatter that I hear from the top agents, and part of this and I've heard this specifically directly from Jeff Cohn, who has almost 30 agents underneath him and is in a very consistent growing market. It's not cyclical. It's not all over the place. It's pretty indicative of the rest of the country, outside of, let's say, Vegas, Miami, San Diego. Anyway, Point being, so he has found out in terms of spending tens and tens of thousands of dollars on online lead generation, that the Google pay-per-click ads, in other words, when somebody goes and they search for a house, or they're searching for homes for sale in Omaha, whatever the case is, the leads that come from that type of search are better than the leads that come from you interrupting someone on Facebook with an ad while they're doing something else, and them getting into that funnel that way. So you have to keep that in mind. There's nothing good or bad. It's totally agnostic. All it means is just that you're catching people at different stages. And so on average, Facebook leads are going to take longer to convert, because they didn't get into your system by coming and actively searching for homes for sale in Concord, homes for sale in Walnut Creek. They were interrupted by doing social things on Facebook, just as if you had, Facebook now is kind of like the equivalent of direct mail, is how I look at it. It's just someone going to the mailbox and they're sorting through their stuff. Keep this, throw the rest of it out, keep that, throw the other 5 things out. And so you're literally putting a message in front of them that they were not seeking out. And so you just have to be prepared for that they're going to take longer to convert, if that makes sense.
I actually, there's a new thing that came out, and it's both for Periscope for Twitter and Facebook Live. They're now going to be launching 360 video. There's a camera. I'll put a link into. I'll find it somewhere. It's a $200 camera. You attach it to your iPhone, guys. If you want to bring value and make people sticky, walk through the coolest house on the market every single week that you can find. Do a 360 video and talk about how cool the home is. And if you guys are looking to buy or sell, please give me a call. That's bringing value. It's interesting. People like to look at pictures. It's just coming out. I'm going to order my own, so you guys will start seeing my videos go up on Facebook. God forbid, have more videos from Greg. Ugh. Cringe at the thought. My team is like, do you ever not go on camera?
Don't worry, because one of the weaknesses we went over before our call today was that I never pick up the phone for you. So that will be another piece of content from Greg I will summarily ignore.
I thought you were actually going to go the other direction with that. And I'll actually pick up the phone. No. The hating continues.
Oh my God, exactly. All right, so Wesley, maybe how to target certain demographics. He says, after yesterday's live, I shared my marketing with some people who had no idea that Facebook allows you to target certain people or certain areas. So if the question is how to do that, that's through Facebook ads. You cannot do that when you just boost one of your posts, but you can go into the ads manager and you can select a post to use as an ad. And once you're building an ad, then you can go into the demographics and you can select that, or you can go by area and different things like that. So that's what that's referring to. And it is a great, like Greg, you use this in your listing presentation, which is super powerful because people have no clue. They don't understand that 80% of the time it's going to be sold by another agent bringing somebody from the MLS. And that's really where the marketing is in the pricing and the positioning to other agents on the MLS. So they do get a kick out of you going on Facebook and saying and popping in the demographics of the people that you believe are most likely to buy that home and saying, yeah, we're going to target these X, like 25,000 potential buyers on Facebook. No, it's more about generating leads for you, which is fine.
I do. Yeah.
Same thing as an open house.
But it's also, it's exactly. But it's also fun and entertaining. It lives on your timeline. So that, like, I'm trying desperately and epically failing to do a video a day about something customer or consumer related, so I can build a database on that stuff. But I think that 360 video is going to be something that's going to be really big and value add, guys. If you can go out and get this, I'm going to look for it's like a nano something or video camera. If you can be the first one in your market to do these live 360 videos. Dude, you're going to be Red Bull to Monster. I mean, because when anyone else gets out there, because Red Bull is the first one on the market showcasing stuff. And, that's what I would like to do. That's my challenge to you guys. Don't anyone in my marketplace beat me to the damn thing. I'm going to Amazon right now, Matt.
What does it matter? You'll destroy them anyway. All right. So Wesley had a follow-up question. He says, so are you saying AdWorks is more effective percentage-wise than Facebook ads? No, but probably not for the reason that you're thinking. So AdWorks, I ran into them at a booth last year, met the CEO. He's the guy behind was he the same guy that started SoundCloud, something ridiculous like that? Anyway, he comes from the music marketing world. So AdWorks is primarily, unless they've changed their offering, AdWorks is about online branding, which is how do I put this delicately?
Don't put it delicately. This is uncensored.
It is a marketing term for spending a lot of money without necessarily demanding a return. In other words, you're not looking for a response. You're looking to put your brand in front of as many eyeballs as possible, which is fine if you do it strategically, but it's also a great way to spend a lot of money without seeing a return on it. So if you're relatively new in the business, I would not suggest AdWorks or any type of branding marketing where you're putting it out there just to look at the number of views that you rack up. Because if it doesn't generate a lead, someone that you can talk to and have a conversation with about real estate, it's a great way to spend or invest a lot of money and not get it back, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Greg?
It does, and that's actually a good segue, Matt. So, guys, if you want to learn more about somewhere, if you're going to spend a good amount of money and you need a return on it, go check out my boy Phil over at Talon Prospecting. They set 10 appointments a week for me. That's not 10 leads, guys. It's 10 appointments a week, guaranteed. Now, I pay through the nose for it, but there are other categories and levels that you can get to kind of dip your toe in the water. You spend that kind of money, and that's going to give you a return on your investment. Not like hey, there's Matt Johnson. He's a real estate agent. Well, who gives a fuck, right? But you know what? That's what I would do. Also, guys, go follow me right up here on Facebook. Don't find me. I only have 5,000. But follow me, and you guys will see when I go live and I do all these crazy things. If you guys are new, seeing this ugly mug and that ugly mug over on the other side of the screen. So yeah, follow. I spoke for you too, buddy. That's how friends support.
Appreciate it. All right, Josh Bryan, welcome to watching the show. Hey, Josh, do us a favor. So one of the other viewers was asking about Facebook, using Facebook to generate leads. Josh has had really awesome success with Josh Smith's program of he took his boot camp, and Josh Smith has a lot of experience with using Facebook groups and posting regularly into Facebook groups to generate leads. First of all, at no cost, but then you can scale up and you can start running Facebook ads using his platform, I think, which is called a Perfect Storm. So it's perfectstormnow.com, and then Josh Smith has a good boot camp program. Josh Bryan has gone through all of his stuff. So Josh, if you want to, if you have anything good to say, or if you want to throw up a link for that, put that in the comments. But that is a great way to generate leads on Facebook.
Then he summarily ditched us and left us in the dirt, Matt. He hates us. We're like the stepchild he never talks about anymore. I don't get it.
All right. What do you say? Let me mention a couple of things on the website, and then we'll dive into a couple more questions.
Yeah.
So on our site, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com, there's two things. One is free, which is Greg's favorite scripts, and that is his favorite stuff. Buyer, seller lead, follow up, client management stuff, price reduction, working with buyer type scripts. It's all there. It's got videos of every script where Greg goes through them. We talk about the phrasing, the tonality, so you actually hear the script. That's free. Go download that. And then also on the site is our high-tech, high-touch real estate farming. It's a video course, like 8.5 hours of me just basically taking, Greg, your head and like a ripe plantain, just smashing it between a coconut and a rock, and getting all the goodness out onto video, so that people can understand exactly how to dominate a specific geographic or demographic area.
Did you say democratic or demographic?
Did I say democrat? I meant to say demographic area.
No Republicans. No,
that's right. Just only Democratic only.
We just our
but Greg, what if you want a libertarian farm?
Contact Matt.
Nobody lives there.
Nobody lives there. It's completely dust, tumbleweed.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, it's just one guy shouting. All right.
Doesn't even have a bullhorn. Just shouting. Middle of the desert.
Shouting. All right, guys. So here, this is a good question. Karen Marie asks, basic scripts or opening lines when reaching out to open house leads via phone or email.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know that we have some buyer lead follow-up scripts in that package, but I don't know that they're specific to open houses. I don't know that there's going to be much of a difference, though, Greg, and I'm curious what you would say. How do you follow up on open house leads? Okay,
so guys, this is one of the most critical things you want to think about. Is everyone says, okay, let's follow up on the open house on Monday. Let's do that. No. You want to call those fools that day. Once you get out of the open house, you pick up the phone and you're just like, "Hi, Matt, Julie, your obese little fat little babies, the wood denters. Yes, they left dents in my client's house. They're very pissed. But I just want to thank you for coming through the open house, and I just want to touch base and say I look forward to working with you. And I'm going to be sending an introductory email out to you tomorrow. And want to find the best time we can sit down and get you in front of my lender and get you start the pre-approval process. And again, just want to personally thank you for coming through. Now, getting rid of all the jest about fat kids and Matt being married, the follow-up is the time. You're following up the night of the open house, the day of the open house, thanking them personally for coming through. You appreciated their time, because be respectful, and then go right for it. Like, hey, let's get you in front of the lender, let's get you pre-approved, let's get you out and looking at properties ASAP. That would be my follow-up. And go from there. Yeah,
that's interesting. I typically wouldn't think you'd go quite for the jugular on that, but if they're getting their butt off the couch and into an open house, they're pretty serious. So I see where you're going there.
And they're giving me their information. They're giving their information to a total stranger about something. So when I bought my last car, I was talking with someone about it, and we went to, would you be upset? We're talking about follow-up. I think it was maybe with you or Casey or someone, and they said that. Well, I said, I would hate it. You call me on a Saturday morning at 7 a.m., I'm going to fucking kick your ass. And they go, okay, Greg, well, think about your car. If the dealer called you at 7 a.m. and just wanted to see what your thoughts were and if you're still interested in the vehicle, and I was very interested in the vehicle, would you be mad at him? And I said, absolutely not. I'd be ecstatic to take the call. He goes, that's the position they're in. And I'm like, total mental shift. Because I come from it with the mindset of being a real estate agent, right? Of just, okay, another client, another process, another project, here we go. But then to them, this is exciting. It's nerve-wracking. There's highs, there's lows, the emotions are everywhere. they're nervous, So yeah, I mean, if someone reached out and touched base with me and said, hey, let's get this party started sooner than later, we might find we might find your right house sooner than later. I would that's why I do it. I mean, and they appreciate it. I mean, it's not like they're just sitting there just like, oh, whatever, the real estate agent called me. They're active. So that's why I do it.
Yeah, and there's and we're trying to get him on the show. He had to cancel last minute. We had him booked for December, I think.
Who?
So Andy Cuny, who's the success manager for Jeff Cohn's team.
Oh yeah.
He's still active part-time in the business, and then he manages 30 agents on the team and really teaches them. One of the specialties is teaching open house. And one of the things that he's really good at is converting someone on the spot when they go to register, and just engaging them in conversation and getting them to convert into meeting him at an actual property right after the open house ends. And not even, not even waiting to follow up with them by phone, but grabbing the people that are the most interested and just saying, hey, there's I've got the listing sheets for 3 other homes that are having open houses, or they're available or whatever today. They're in the same neighborhood. They're generally the same price range. Would you like to tour a couple of them after the open house?
Yeah, I think it's really, really powerful. And you're going to hook, line, and sinker, just catching that hook on that, on that client and getting them moving, kind of getting that.
Hey, you're already out anyway.
Yeah, and Josh, I am not going to quit my bitching, fool. Damn. He said he still loves. Well, thanks, Josh. Big love. Yeah. What else do we got going on? And do we want to talk about open houses? Do we not? Do we want to take
there's a couple of other questions. There's some good ones here for 2 things. There's people asking for postcards for expireds and letters for expireds. One of them, anyone have a good expired letter I can send for a newbie agent? The answer to both of those things is yes and no. So if anybody recalls, I've talked about it on the show before. So back in the day, this was it was over a year ago, I think. So Frank and the guys at Viral Marketing started a direct mail company to test out the idea that you could send something physical to an expired listing and get them to call. They tried everything under the sun. The most effective thing they did was essentially a printout of the listing sheet that just had a handwritten scrawl on it that says, I know why your home didn't sell, or I have a buyer for your home, call me. Nothing they could do in terms of other types of marketing, direct mail letters, nothing beat just that. Because you're telling them what they want to hear, which is usually, I have a buyer for the home, call me, right? Which is, if you don't have a buyer for the home, is completely unethical to say, and you should never send that letter. So the point of that being, there is no magic letter, there is no magic postcard. It's the act of consistently getting it out there, and then you have to follow up with phone calls. I mean, that's the bottom line. There just is no, of all people that could have come up with a magic direct mail letter that would have got somebody to pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I'd like to interview you to sell my home. Frank wrote it. It looked amazing, and I helped edit and took a lot of the information down from the other agents and helped write those letters, so I know what they look like, and they were fucking the bomb. There was testimonials, there was case studies, there was evidences of success, there was every pain point was addressed, the whole 9 yards. I wrote that and go, wow, this agent's got really on the ball. They're really good. They did not. It was not successful. So there is no easy answer to that. There is no magic letter to send to an expired to get them to pick up the phone call. You got to pick up the phone and call them.
Yeah, there is. Well, I'm going to counter that. We did a program that we ran for a couple of years ago, and then we can identify this is our program. We invented it. So fuck you, SmartZip. We sent. There's a guy over in Philly. No, it's in maybe DC Metro or somewhere over there. I don't know, somewhere East Coast. He went and he sent a buyer letter hey, I'll buy your house for cash, if whatever, if it meets our criteria. And dude, he would list 14, 15 properties every time he sent that letter out. Now, granted, he sent it out to about 100,000 people, but he'd also buy probably maybe one house every 2 mailings. And then he would list maybe 30 homes off of 2 mailings. So is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know, but in your marketplace, but I know in my marketplace, we list 30 properties off of, 10, 20,000 mailers. Juice is definitely worth the squeeze. All right. So,
and Hannah says, so you would send the listing sheet and then call and say what? No, I'm saying it's the listing sheet. If you can do it, it's great. If you can say, I know why your home didn't sell, and you can send that listing sheet to them, and then yes, you call. you better have something to say though.
Yeah, you better.
So if you're going to send a listing sheet with a markup that says I know why your home didn't sell, well then you look at, okay, what are the pictures, what's the description on the MLS, how is it positioned, and you just start going through that stuff. And but it's like Aaron talks about in Expired Mastery. You really don't want to handle those objections and bring all that stuff up on the phone. Usually, you just want to get in the door, tell them that that's what you specialize in, get the appointment set up, and then cover that stuff in person. When you can actually show them on the MLS just how bad it is. So the listing sheet, like sending that to them, is just to get their attention, and then that gives something to kind of hang your hat on when you call, and just say, hey, I sent you some information. There were some things that I noticed on the listing sheet that I felt like didn't exactly give your home the best chance to sell. Just wondering if you had any questions about that, if there's anything I can help you with. And that is a different approach than most agents take. That will give you that'll give you a leg up when you call.
I completely agree. I'm asking the Steel Trap a quick question. There's a system that we use that will give us reports on how many times our sites, our properties have been viewed online total, without any ads or anything else. I think, is it really? I guess they're all doing it. Oh, okay. There wasn't a specific secret system apparently. So sorry about that, guys. Built it up and crashed it down.
Oh my
we
God.
have
here's I got a signature question for you, Greg, when you're ready for it.
Okay, so I have a bunch of the folks that are watching us over on our LGO's site. If you guys want questions asked, you can come to my personal site, my personal page, and we can absolutely answer them there. I'm bouncing around the different pages that we broadcast out to. We go out to 11 groups, guys. So there's a lot to bounce around. So if you, at any time during these podcasts or shows, if you come to Greg McDaniel on Facebook and you ask the questions there where the show originates from, that's where the majority of the questions will be seen. So
yeah, that's a great point. We need to start saying that right off the bat. Yeah,
Jenny, I want to know why you're personally not calling FSBOs. Well, Jenny, because there aren't any fucking FSBOs. I mean, they're very, very few and far between. And if I'm going to spend my time, I'm going to spend my time calling into marketplaces or lead sources that have that have some backbone, some stamina, something that I can do on a daily basis, because I run out of FSBOs very quickly. But just for you, Jenny, I will make calls to FSBOs and I will report back to you, because you know what? You have verbally smacked me in public, and I appreciate that because I deserved it. And I will duly not neglect the FSBOs. My apologies.
All right.
Okay.
So Arvinder asks, how effective is door knocking in today's world? I see people here mostly stressing on calling. Is door knocking considered old school?
Well, it depends how younger you are, buddy. Realistically, guys, yes, door knocking is old school. But the reason it's still around because it's incredibly effective. Does it take more time? Yes. Is it more labor intensive? Yes. Are you going to have to actually go face to face with a human? Yes. Do you think that door knocking is bad because you've heard it from other agents? Oh, don't do door knocking. It's a waste of time. Well, all those asshats are just trying to keep you out of their neighborhoods where they're fearful that you'll build a relationship with people. If you guys want to learn more about door knocking, go to Greg McDaniel on YouTube. Greg McDaniel door knocking on YouTube. And there's 5 videos. What do I always do? I'll just put the link in here. You guys can watch one. I was trying to explain this huge process to go find something. Like, I'll just go find it and bring it over to you guys. But
there's a couple of good perspectives. One of the guys commented said that real estate is a contact sport. If a phone call counts as 1 touch, I would say meeting someone face to face counts as 3. You can also think about it in Michael Mayer's terms, the 7 levels of communication, right? So you're in person. If you can get in person in front of somebody, and you are a normal, nice human being, then absolutely that's going to be much more effective than on the phone. The only difference is, Greg, like you've talked about, is just you can make so many more contacts with the phone, but the bottom line is they are shallower. They're not as meaningful as if you had stood in front of them on their porch and chatted with them for 5 or 10 minutes about life.
On the phones? Yeah, they can be more shallow, but realistically speaking, it depends on how well you are communicating. Either on the doors or on the phones. 7% of what you're talking about is the actual words coming out of your mouth. 36% of it is going to be your tonality, and 55% is going to be your body language. So if you got a great intonations in your voice, and you can really communicate and make it a visual experience for the other person, like they can see the attitude, the excitement, the fun, and everything else that you're trying to portray. Or if you're like, hello, my name is Matt Johnson. I work for Remax California. I want to let you just know that you just listed a home around the corner. That's not going to work. Okay. But if you're able to, if you're able to go, hey, my name's Matt Johnson. I'm a real estate agent here in the area, and I want to let you know some really good news. You just listed a property around the corner, and it went up 22% from last year to this year when they were back on. It's amazing. Have you guys thought about maybe thinking about selling your home? Well, leave the last part.
Maybe, yeah, maybe the super creepy part. But there's a part of that I've wanted to get into, and we haven't talked about it like on Aaron's expired mastery course or anything like that, because he's got his own stuff that he wants to talk about. So we can get into it here. One of the funny things that you notice when you do role playing, or when you just observe role playing with people and scripting, is how often you'll hear one person deliver a script and it'll sound like you, Jeff. Like it's animated, it's specific, it's direct, it's punchy, and then someone will go, okay, well, so you would call up and you would go, hi, this is Matt. I understand that there's probably a lot of people calling you today. Just that reminds me of Alec Baldwin on Saturday Night Live, the sweaty balls. Yeah,
the sweaty balls.
The sweaty balls. But yeah, it's funny how people that they don't have an awareness that they legitimately believe that they're imitating the script as it is. And it's funny, we're on Expire Master the other day, and Aaron said specific is better. Right. So when I call up and they say, hey, you're like the, we've had a bunch of calls, and he says, yeah, I know, you probably had like 73 different agents call you, and he'll use like this outrageously specific high number. Right. So then he throws it over to one of the students in the class, and what do? Hi. Exactly well, hey, I'm sure you've had a lot of people call you. And he's like, no, I literally just got done explaining why I say a specific number, not a lot, not some, not, a bunch,
a few,
like a number. It's amazing just how unaware people are. They believe that they're imitating the script as it is, but in reality, they've toned it way down and sucked all the power out of it. And then they wonder why people are impatient with them and want to hang up the phone on them.
Shit, they're still impatient with me, and I put a lot of energy into the phone calls, because they're conditioned to know as soon as you say real estate agent, they think blood-sucking, vampire. They're gonna try to take my house from me. And they're no. And it's a race to hang up the phone the fastest in the neighborhood. I think there's trophies given out in every neighborhood, every weekly. I hung up on 6 agents in 32 seconds or 0.3 seconds. I'm like, gosh damn it. But I mean, yeah, work on your tonality. To record yourself if you don't have a role play partner, guys. You record yourself on your phone. Did you yawn? Am I boring you, Johnson?
You're getting there. That's all right.
I look at you. I'm like, what is that yawn? That's offensive. Thank you very much. Know who you're talking with. But damn it, now you made me lose my train of thought, you son of a biscuit face. Anyways, record yourself on your phone on a voice recorder, or even better, on a video. That way you can see how you look if you're going to go door knocking, and how you interact. And you guys, no one's going to see it. Just delete it. It's not offensive. But you can also see and hear what the other person is going to see and hear. What was that site, Matt? It was like not photo bomb. It was like photo check or whatever else. They can check their photo on their.
Oh yeah, that was the issue, or that was the episode with Preston Zeller.
Yeah.
How to pick a great headshot.
I'm trying to find photos. Gosh damn it. We'll figure it out, guys. But the reason I bring it up is that's going to be their first impression of you, is going to be your photo on a website. So what's the first impression that they're going to get at the front door? So if you think you look like that photo, then we want to see what the public's going to react to, right? It's very non-invasive. It's judged by people. Real people, they're completely anonymous, and they'll give you real feedback on stuff. Like I posted the one I have on my Facebook page, and they said, well, you're trustworthy, you look honest, we wish you'd stand up straighter. And I'm like, I was just doing a fun photo shoot. Damn it. Okay, well, I would have, and that's good feedback. Now I know what to do. Now when I meet someone, I stand up as straight as I can, up, back, and down with the shoulders and the whole 9 yards like that. So that's kind of one of the things that I work on all the time, is just what is that perception like? Constantly A/B testing your scripts, guys. Try one for half of your calling time, and then try one for the other half. See which one pulls more. I mean, you don't have to stick with one thing. Break it up. I mean, I have Midori breaking up her scripts quite a bit, and then I'll break up mine. Play with it like a cat with a ball of yarn. I sent Matt a message today because he hates cats, and and all the different cat tails, which way they're facing, and goes, I hate you, 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 I hate you. Anyways, I digress. I thought it was funny because I was going to send you the cat video one that says, if cats could say hey instead of meow, hey, hey, hey. Anyways, I'll put that link.
Great. Great. I'm so glad. I'm looking forward to that.
No. All right. Next question.
All right. So Stephanie Campbell says, hey, I'm new to real estate, trying to figure out some way to get leads. My office doesn't get a lot of call-ins, and I'm wondering if anyone knows how much it costs to get leads from Zillow, and any other advice is appreciated. Yeah, don't.
Just don't. Save yourself the mental, hardship and the financial hardship. They're just going to give you bullshit. Dude, I'm telling you, man, go talk to my boy Phil, or actually go talk to Anita over at, I'll put the link in here, over at Talon. Dude, I'm telling you guys, they are going through a massive growth spurt for a reason. Yes, Josh, photo feeler. Thank you. Nicely done, buddy. You're coming through in a pinch. And you'll spend money, but you're not going to spend money for tire kicking leads. You're going to spend money for someone to set appointments for you. That's a distinctive difference. That's why I rant and rave about them. Because we aren't, guys, if we didn't have to prospect, I think real estate agents would be generally happier, and not so many of us would be in AA. Because you don't have to go recover after doing 3 hours of cold calls. You can go out and actually be with people in the living rooms or showing houses, but getting the leads, the appointment set for you. I mean, I think it could radically transform the way that a lot of us do business. I'm ecstatic about them. But
yeah, I mean, I honestly, and I hope it continues to work, and would rather see things go more in that direction. Let's put it that way, because I like, as much as I want people to have that freedom of being in business for themselves, it's great. I mean, real estate allows you to, kind of build whatever business you want. But in terms of like what's best, it is best to kind of specialize and let people that are, have the right personality to be on the phone all day, let them do their thing. And then you go out and be with the people, you do what you do best, which is negotiating contracts, meeting with new clients, getting the process started, and then passing it over to someone that is going to do like the client management and the back end work, right? Because those are three extremely different personality profiles to be good at any one of those 3 or 4 things. And I don't think there's anything wrong with specializing. There was a comment the other day about how teams were bad because the only people that survive in real estate long term are the people that can do everything themselves. And the real estate is I believe the phrasing was, real estate is a freelancer business. And then if you join a team, you're really just going to end up hurting yourself, because then you don't know how to do every part of the transaction. And those are the only people that survive in real estate.
That's fucking stupid. That's like saying, being a chef is, a professional that you can just do it on your own. Well, if you're servicing many clients, dude, you're going to need sous chefs. You're going to need all kinds of dishwashers. You need people in specialized roles that they're good at, so you can go be the creative chef in the kitchen and go get that new master dish. That's fucking stupid. We should stone that person. I hope they're not watching the show.
Yeah. Mike says, did we lose you? I don't know. I still see that we're broadcasting live, Mike, so maybe we lost you. But hopefully we're still on the air. But this is a really good question from Jamie Cox I wanted to throw out to you, Greg. So what's the one thing you could have done in your business last year that would have increased your business?
The thing that you harp on me the most. I start things and I stop things, right? So I would be consistently doing. I'm very scheduled on my time blocking, but I would be more rigorous in the efforts to get away from this chair here and go out into the public and spend more time out there with them. But I'll be honest with you guys. I mean, the 60-day challenge, I was thinking about it today, and it kind of makes me nervous. But I'm going to go out and do it. I mean, I have this, self-defeating belief that if I'm not in this chair, I'm not working, air quotes, all of you on iTunes and Stitcher, because that's what I was led to believe in the beginning, but the way that it's done now is completely different. So that's what I would have done, and I am going to do. And Ryan, what up, man? You did make it. I'm glad you're here. That's a really good question. And I think I would have been more diligent in regards to where I spent my time, and not justify, spending time on, so much time on freaking Facebook. I mean, go spend time in other places and doing other things. I mean, granted, now we're shooting live on Facebook 3 days a week, so it's, it's a place for interacting. But for real estate, I'm putting together a list right over here of homes that are in this massive lead list I have right here to go stop by and visit with them. But I get afraid because I feel, well, that's not real business. I'm cheating on my day of work because I'm not in the office. So that's a mental block for me that I would have liked to have changed, and I will be changing this year. And it's something it actually really is crippling. And I can't figure out why.
These are like, yeah, well, you have a thing about this, and it goes back to your personality type, which is you're much more comfortable talking to people that don't know who you are, and your focus is always on expanding the pie, right? So you're always looking to get more people into the top of the funnel. You almost feel like, and I chalked it up to you not being good at this, but maybe it's the mental block thing where you feel like you're not working, but you have a thing about like the people that are in the middle of the funnel, the people that you could just follow up with, and the conversation's easy, and it just feels like it's shooting the shit, and it's, hey, what's going on? Just want to check in with you and see how life is going.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say it doesn't feel like work, because it's fun. Like, we all know that's where the fortune is. The fortune is in the follow up, and technically it should be easier, but not if you have a mental block that tells you, oh, I'm not working right now. I'm not working hard because I'm not adding people in that are cold audience. And marketers fall into that trap too, right? I mean, most people, when they decide, hey, I want to go and put up a Facebook ad, literally the last thing they think of is running a Facebook ad to the people they already know. It's always cold. New people, cold. And that's the best way to look at it. It's not new people, it's cold. It's like saying, hey, I'd like to spend all of my time talking to people who don't know me, don't like me, and don't trust me yet. Like, it's going to be an uphill battle. Where do you think that comes from, Greg? Like, that mentality?
I've really been trying to understand it. I think it's me trying to compensate from not graduating from college and, being the only one in my family.
A lot of really educated people.
Well, no, I think that I think I'm trying to psychologically and mentally tell myself that you're spending your day in a worthwhile way, and you're going to bring value to your team because you're hustling and grinding in the office. Because I have a mental, hang up the fact that I'm the only one in my family that does not have a college degree, and that shouldn't bother me, but it does a little bit. And so with that being said, I think that if I feel that I am goofing off and, out at Starbucks, working there, or we're driving around and following up with people or something like that, that I'm not contributing. And that's my biggest thing. I feel like I need to contribute like 500 phone calls a day or something like that on outbound leads to really feel valuable. So I think that could be it's a much more deep rooted thing than just like, oh, well, I don't like going outside. No, it's like deep rooted shit. So I think that could be something that really is holding me back. And
that's interesting.
So, well, I need to go to therapy, Matt.
Hey, you and me both, buddy. Not together though.
No chase lounges for two.
No. All right. So let's see so for me, what's the one thing I could have done last year that would have grown my business faster? So for me, it was the thing that really worked, and it took me a while, and I think a lot of people are in that phase. I was just talking to a coach today, did a consultation on podcasting service before we jumped on this, and she's in that phase where she's trying to figure out, like, she's throwing a lot of mud against the wall and seeing what sticks. And everybody goes through that phase, and there's nothing wrong with it. You have to do that, right? So there's a lot of people that are out there in that phase of you haven't quite figured out what works for you to grow your business, and you're just trying stuff. You just try it. Some people give up a little early, and that's not good. But at some point, you will stumble onto something where you're like, oh, now I'm onto something. Like, I can feel the traction, right? So I hit that late in the year with LinkedIn prospecting. So if anybody goes back and watches the episode that we did with Brian Trachel, which is amazing, I love his stuff and his approach to uncovering the right types of people that you want to work with, and then reaching directly out to them using LinkedIn, email, and phone to make connections with them, right? So I put that into practice and started. I got LinkedIn Sales Navigator. I have my assistant start researching people, reaching out, not to people cold, but starting with the types of people that I wanted to work with, and then figuring out who was I already connected to, second, third, and fourth, whatever connections away, and especially starting with the people that I was already connected to in some way. And then I would reach out to them by email and say, hey, we're connected through so-and-so on LinkedIn. Just wanted to touch base. Looks like you're doing some awesome stuff in this, and this area. I think there might be some interesting opportunities where I could introduce you to some people that'd be helpful, or vice versa. Would you like to do a quick call? Worked like gangbusters. It just like I have an update call with a new client literally after this podcast with a gal who signed up 3 months after I reached out to her like that.
Really?
That's where Asha came from. That's where That's where Asha came from. Yeah, exactly. So and then Asha's introduced me to freaking,
Everybody.
she's like the inside spoke of a wheel. Yeah, she's introduced me to a ton of people. So that one relationship that I built off of reaching out to someone cold through LinkedIn, through email, has introduced me to a ton of people, and now I have a network of people that I'm building in San Diego. So I know that stuff works. The only question is, like, why don't I do it more? Well, because I kept getting pulled back into the operations side and getting pulled out of lead generation by the quality issues that come from growing and having lots of new clients, right? So yes. So we brought on 2 part-time people just last week. One for the financial advisor side, one to be like our official Real Estate Uncensored show producer. So you'll be hearing from her. Her name is Leslie. She's going to start taking over like the social media posts and stuff like that. So you'll actually hear from her a little bit. She's based in Omaha, so I'm going to let her actually kind of run with the social media stuff. But yeah, I had to get that stuff squared away so that now once that stuff is squared away and I'm not getting pulled into the operations all the time, then I can refocus and start in a very systematic way, a couple hours a day, reaching out to people cold on that I find on LinkedIn and bringing them into my world, because that directly builds relationships, and the more relationships I have, the more business I get.
That's amazing. Matt, it's hard to believe that we have chewed through an hour and it feels like 20 minutes. But I want to talk really quickly, since you've had experience, and I haven't, I've seen it posted on LinkedIn. Break it down. How could a real estate agent use the same process you did to potentially find leads in their LinkedIn?
All right. So 2 things. Number one is you got to know who you're going after. And for a real estate agent, it's a little bit different. So the key way that I would use LinkedIn is to build my referral network. So I would say, all right, who are the 25 and 30 industries that work with homeowners? And I would say, okay, well, so I need a lawn guy. I need a financial advisor guy. I need an estate attorney. I need this, and this. I want to have those relationships with 30 key people who know me. We go out to lunch or coffee on a semi-regular basis. We keep in touch. We follow each other on social media, and we refer each other business. That's where I would start using LinkedIn. If I was going to use it to try to find buyer or seller leads, then I would go interest-based. And I would say, okay, so I'm a musician. So let's go find all the people in a certain kind of area of San Diego that are also musicians. Let's find them on LinkedIn by their interest, or on Facebook. That might be a little easier with the musician thing. But let's say it's golf or surfing or whatever. You can find all that stuff out on LinkedIn by what their interests are, what groups they're a part of. I would go join the groups on LinkedIn, which are amazing. I would research them and search for them on LinkedIn using like the advanced search, where you can search by people's interests and area. And then you can narrow down. Then you just start going through people's profiles and start looking for the people that you feel like you would connect with and reach out to them. Reach out to them by email, reach out to them by LinkedIn InMail, or if they have a phone number and their contact info, pick up the phone and call.
I think that's fantastic. Those are really good ideas, and I think you guys need to go do that ASAP. It's a relatively inexpensive, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, one of the top, and the way that I was, the way that we were introduced to Brian Trachel was through a mortgage broker here in San Diego. I found him on LinkedIn, and unbeknownst to me, he does all of his prospecting through LinkedIn. He spends about 2 to 3 hours a day in the morning on LinkedIn, and he is just a phenomenal connector. He finds people that are worth connecting with. He connects with them on LinkedIn. He follows up with a phone call, and that's just how he builds his database. Then he gets in. He's got like, I don't know, what did he say?
Matt,
on LinkedIn.
You just said something that I think you skipped right over, but I think is the most important part of this entire conversation, is that instead of going out there and looking for leads, go out there and be a connector. Go out there and seriously think, how can I make this guy or gal's business grow? Do like one person a day. And then they're going to remember that's 300, let's say it's 280 people a year that you help build their business without ever asking for something in return. That's good shit. Right there. That is good shit. Total law of reciprocity. But my friend, we do have to put a little bow on this thing, because we know how cranky Facebook gets, and especially our system.
That's right. Since you guys don't get cranky, you guys can go all day. All right, so check out Greg's favorite scripts on our website, McDanielRealEstateSystems.com. You can also check out High Touch Real Estate Farming. We are getting ready to launch the first of our Rockstar Prospecting training series. It's all about circle prospecting. We talk a lot about it on the show, but we are launching an actual 4-week live video interactive training class. And what that means is that it's me and Greg is actually going to interact with you, role play with you, and not just kind of show you what he does, because we've done that on the show. This is about training you on exactly how to do it and showing you behind the scenes. This is how you work the dialer. This is how you do this. This is how you do that. Here's the phrasing. Here's the tonality, and then repetition. Let's run through it again. So that's the Rockstar Prospecting, the first in that series. We're going to talk about all about circle prospecting. So we'll let you guys know when that is officially available. If that's something that you guys are interested in, I mean, this is the engine of Greg's business. I mean, you know this, Greg. We talk about this all the time. I'm just curious, guys, if you're interested in a training course like that, just comment yes below the video here and let us know if we're on to the right track.
And I put the farming link into it, guys. We got 2 people immediately liking it. So if you guys like it, there's the farming product there, and you guys like the prospecting. Yeah, Matt and I have a whole series of different products that we want to build for you guys at a very, very affordable cost. You get recordings of all those sessions, so you're going to be able to take them home and put them under your pillow and sleep warm and tight. And we just want to keep giving value, guys. Keep giving value, giving value. Again, follow me on Facebook, guys. Please. This is the best way and only way to really interact with me on Facebook. You can send me messages. I'll send you messages back. We can talk and stuff. McDaniel Challenge is on
his inbox with funny cat videos, please, on my behalf.
Oh,
I don't have time to do that, but I will
forward them directly over to you. So
okay,
if I get bombed,
then don't do that. Never mind. Forget I said it. Friend me on and follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Pursuing Results. I am pursuing results across all platforms. If you guys have any guest suggestions, hit us up. We want to interview young, up-and-coming, hungry, aggressive agents that are doing something cool. We want to interview people that are doing something unique and innovative to get more clients. So if you know anybody like that that's doing something interesting, we want to talk to them. Hit me up. Shoot us a message on Facebook. Me specifically, actually. Shoot me a message on Facebook and let me know so that I can talk to them. And Greg, anything else that we're forgetting?
Yeah, guys, follow me on Instagram, McDanielCallahan.realestate, and you'll get me on Instagram. But guys, we love you. We do all this for you. Help us spread the show. If you guys know anyone who has a Facebook page that has a large following or a Facebook private group, please get a hold of me or Matt and get us in contact with the admin on that, because we want to bring value to those pages as well and have a stream like we have streaming into 11 other pages right now, this type of content, if it would be valuable for those people. So please put your thinking caps on, guys. Help us spread the word. Help us help the rest of the population out there that are real estate agents that need free, actionable content to put in their business now. So besides that, Matt, we're out, playa.
All right, guys. I'll see you later. See you next time.
Yep. Love you guys. Bye-bye.